Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. What if the person you trust the most isn't your safe place, but your greatest threat? Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now, while you're laughing with them, confiding in them, maybe even loving them, they're already strategizing your downfall. Not in the open, not with raised voices or visible hostility, but silently, calculatedly, behind every nod, every smile, every, "I've got your back." That's the haunting truth about betrayal. It rarely crashes through the front door. It creeps in quietly, disguised as closeness. A long game, not a sudden switch. A slow unraveling of loyalty, unfolding in the shadows while you're too wrapped up in hope to notice. But here's the truth. Betrayal always leaves clues. You just haven't trained your eyes to see them. Once you do, the game changes. Forever. Are you ready to see clearly? Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychological minds of the 20th century, believed that betrayal doesn't strike out of nowhere. It emerges from a predictable pattern. It's not just someone flipping a switch in a moment of weakness. It's a buildup of repressed feelings, hidden envy, unspoken fears, and a fractured inner world projected outward. And once you understand this pattern, you'll stop mistaking proximity for loyalty. So why do people betray us? And how do we detect the red flags before we're left broken? Because that's what this video is here to reveal. The anatomy of betrayal, the psychology behind it, and how to protect yourself without losing your empathy or your mind. Let's get something straight. Betrayal is never just one act. It's not just the moment they lie, cheat, manipulate, or ghost you. That act? That's just the final eruption, the earthquake. But long before that, there were tremors, little cracks, small signals, emotional inconsistencies, internal wars hiding behind polite smiles. According to Jung, betrayal usually starts with the shadow self, the dark undercurrent of our psyche. It's made up of all the traits, impulses, and feelings we're ashamed of: envy, insecurity, rage, powerlessness. Stuff society tells us to bury, and we do until something or someone triggers it, often the people closest to us. Because the truth is, betrayal is more about the betrayer than the betrayed. You become a mirror, reflecting back something in them they desperately want to avoid. Your confidence stirs up their insecurity. Your wins activate their self-doubt. Your joy reminds them of their unhealed pain. And instead of facing that internal discomfort, they unconsciously start to resent you. Slowly, secretly, until that resentment metastasizes into betrayal. Ever felt it? That shift? The friend who used to celebrate your wins suddenly downplays them. The partner who admired your ambition starts nitpicking everything you do. The coworker who was once collaborative now becomes distant, or worse, competitive. You didn't change, but something inside them did. What you're seeing is not random. It's projection. Their shadow has been triggered and you've become the screen they're casting it onto. They tell themselves, "You've changed." But what they really mean is, "I can't handle who you are becoming." This psychological defense mechanism is their ego's way of avoiding inner conflict. But it's also the breeding ground for betrayal. Jealousy, as Jung observed, is one of the most corrosive forces in human relationships. It masquerades as indifference, as sarcasm, as silence. But it's always there, pulsing beneath the surface. Look closely. That friend who used to cheer you on now makes backhanded compliments. That supportive sibling who once believed in your dreams now questions every move you make. You might be glowing up, physically, emotionally, spiritually, but instead of encouragement, you get subtle shade. They tell you, "Must be nice," as if your discipline is a privilege and not a sacrifice. They stop showing up, stop reaching out. Your wins make them uncomfortable, not because you've wronged them, but because they've abandoned their own potential. And you, just by growing, are proof of that abandonment. Your progress threatens their stasis. And that kind of psychological dissonance doesn't stay dormant forever. It grows legs. It finds a voice. And eventually, it betrays you. But not all betrayals come from unconscious wounds. Some are strategic, cold, intentional. These are the hardest to see coming because they wear masks. Jung believes some people develop elaborate personas, false selves they show to the world, while hiding their real intentions underneath. They're charming, empathetic, even protective, until they get what they want. Then they vanish, or worse, turn the knife they were always holding behind their back. They didn't love you. They leveraged you. Maybe they leaned on you for emotional validation, career opportunities, or financial support. Maybe they smiled wide while taking everything you gave. But the moment you set a boundary or stopped being useful, they turned. Distant, passive-aggressive, cold. You thought you had a bond. They were just playing a role. The loyal friend was an illusion, useful until it wasn't. Betrayal can also be a power move. There are people who only feel secure when they have control. The moment they feel that control slipping, watch how quickly they sabotage. Jung taught that human relationships are often power games beneath the surface, and some people only feel safe when they hold the reins. You might have had a boss who seemed supportive, until you started shining brighter. Then came the micromanagement, the credit stealing, the subtle sabotage. Or maybe a partner who once championed your growth now makes you feel guilty for outgrowing the dynamic. Why? Because their sense of self was tied to dominating you, not walking beside you. This is betrayal born not of hurt, but of threatened ego. And it's deceptive, because it often comes from people who seemed like allies. But once their grip weakens, their shadow shows. And let's be clear, betrayal hurts like hell. But it's also a mirror. It reveals, it unmasks. It forces you to see people as they are, not as you wish them to be. It doesn't mean you're naive. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means you believed, you hoped, you gave love freely. That's not something to regret, that's something to honor. But the lesson still stands. Observe deeply, trust gradually, and never cling to someone who's already letting go in secret. The people who betray you reveal something critical. They show you who they are when no one's watching, who they are when they think they're done needing you, who they are when your light threatens to expose their shadow. And that's a gift, a painful one, but a gift nonetheless, because it sharpens your discernment. It teaches you what real loyalty looks like. It forces you to stop romanticizing people who haven't earned your trust. Betrayal strips away the illusion and leaves behind the truth. The right people will never need to betray you, because their love isn't performative. It isn't dependent on what you can give them. They'll support you in your rising. They'll anchor you in your falling. They won't get jealous of your joy. They'll expand with it. And those are the people who deserve your energy, your time, your trust. Not everyone can go where you're going, and that's okay. Let them fall away. Let the mask slip. Let betrayal do what it came to do, reveal the truth. And once it does, don't become bitter. Become better. Use the pain as fuel. Use the clarity as power. Build boundaries not as walls, but as sacred gates. Protect your peace. Guard your loyalty. And never apologize for choosing yourself over someone who chose to deceive you. In the end, betrayal may crack your heart open, but it also carves space for something more authentic, more aligned, more real. So the next time you feel blindsided, remember, the signs were always there. You just hadn't learned to read them yet. But now, you have, and you'll never be caught off guard again. Let betrayal refine you, not define you. Because the pain is temporary, but the wisdom lasts a lifetime.